thing with standard operating procedures is that there has to be a standard set first in order for it to be an SOP, right? There has to be a standard expectation that was met before you can actually turn it into a process, right? Because oftentimes what a lot of people will do is try to create a process of something that they've never actually been successful with. And and Talia's asking, well, I get confused how to train them because I've never done that before. And here's the thing: if you've actually never done the thing before, and the VA has never done the thing before, then you either have to arrive at, well, what's the thing, what actually does work, and let's just keep trying it, or let's experimenting with it, or let's bring someone else in from the outside that can teach us on how this should be done, right? And this is where consultants come in, where coaches come in, where courses come in of, hey, you know what, we don't know how to do this, so let's figure out how to do this so that we can then build our SOP around it, and make sure that we keep those core competencies and best practices into the business, right? So Kat is asking.
Can I answer part of that thing for Talia?
Yeah.
It's Kimberly. So Talia, I know that for me, really direct communication with my VA and engaging them in creating that process has actually been really helpful, because then she feels engaged and she feels like she's part of it. Like she's not just like, I'm not just creating it and dropping it on her. She's part of like creating that process. And for her, that's been really, I think it's been empowering, because she and I were talking this morning about it a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. That's awesome. Um, so and you really hit the nail on the head there, which is really what Kat's question is here too, which is, how much, how do I know if I'm putting too much or not enough on the VA? And it's just really being in conversation, right? It's just asking them of, hey, here's another thing that I'd love for you to handle. And I just want to check in, is like, is it too much? Right. And this is why we do a lot of these more frequent energy audits, especially in the beginning, is just looking at, well, do you have more time for more work, or do you not? Right. And if you can't have that level of transparent and honest conversation with your team member, then that's a whole another thing for another, but then it's a values misalignment, right? But you want to really be in a place where you can truly have the best conversation with them and involve them in that, because as you're doing the work and you're doing videos and you're able to say, hey, this is how I want this to get done, then and Kim, I'd imagine that this is what you're doing, is then they can help you document it, right? But it's just really just a matter of recording the video, saying this is how we want to do it, and then Kat, in terms of making sure that you were on the same page of workload and processes and everything, it's just I personally, the way I like to do it is I just put a bunch of things on someone's plate, and then I start to ask, okay, well, how's this doing? Right. And then they say, oh, well, this is gonna be too much. And then over time, I've gotten pretty good at it, where I have a pretty good idea of if there is too much or if there's not too much, but then you just check in on a weekly basis to see what that looks like.